Good morning, y'all. My name is Frank. Welcome back to the channel. I hope everybody's doing all right. Hopefully, everybody had a good day, good holidays. Uh, it's Friday, I think. I don't know. Uh, Headed to the shop. It's 9 o'clock in the morning, and New Year's, Christmas has passed. Glad to be in a fresh new year. And like for some reason, and I knew this wasn't gonna happen, but for some reason, like mentally, I was like, all right, as soon as this new year gets here, it's gonna be easier to deal with. You know, that's not the case. Um, if anything, I think it's made it maybe like more of a realization. I don't know. That makes sense. So a lot of people, that don't understand, and this would have been me previous to going through this, I wouldn't have understood, right? I would have probably been the one saying, yo, you got to get over that shit. Just move on, right? Um, and then I find myself in this situation, and it's like, this is very different than whatever you thought it was, right? Like, I knew divorce existed, I knew separations existed. I didn't know they were like this, right? That I didn't know. And I'm sure my situation is different than others. Not that it's unique or anything, it's just different. I feel like I have absolutely no answers to anything, right? And not that I'm owed any answers, because, Rachel doesn't owe me anything. She doesn't owe me to be nice. She doesn't owe me to be respectful. You know, I'm not, I'm not really owed anything. Um, would it be nice to have answers? Absolutely, right? So when I went to Philly, um, that the night I had live, and I just was having a bad night. So that next day, my whole purpose of going to Philly that day was twofold. I said, okay, I'm gonna go and take these blankets. I had my whole truck jam loaded, packed with blankets and stuff. I said, I'm gonna go take these to people that need them. Hopefully, that's gonna make me feel a little better doing something nice for somebody else. And then I had got in contact with um, the woman whose house me and my homie stood in that night, right? Sort of the reason that I've been given for all this, right? Um, and so I had got in contact with her. Rachel had showed me a message they sent, and I seen her, her social media name. So I said, all right, I'm gonna reach out. And I knew what I was gonna speak to her about, right? Or I knew what I was gonna hear to a certain extent. Maybe our versions would differ a little bit. Like I said, I think I said this in another video, but I knew what they wouldn't say, right? It wouldn't end with us being in sexual contact. You know, that just wouldn't. Um, so when we spoke, there was stuff that I found out that I was like, damn, are you kidding me? You know, there was stuff that she told me. Was just, it wasn't a good feeling, right? And then I had this conversation with her, and she said, look, I was wrong. You know, she took a picture of me while I was sleeping. She said I was wrong for taking that picture. She said I was a little drunk. She said, um, maybe my feelings were, or my pride was a little hurt because I sort of came on to you. She said I was drunk though, and maybe my feelings were a little hurt. And I wasn't even, to be honest with you, I wasn't even mad about that. I wasn't even mad about that. Um, but she reiterated and said the only reason that I sent that picture is because of stuff that Rachel was saying to me, and just a bunch of shit like that. Um, I said, I get it. I get it. So she said, look, if you want, you can, you guys can come here and we can speak. Um, and I hated getting in contact with this person because I didn't want to let them know, or didn't even want to like give anybody power that they got in between us, right? You know? And then when I came home, I spoke to Rachel and told her, I spoke to this person, blah, blah, blah. And then things, and that's what she's, for the past, 5 years since it happened. Um, I've been looked at and treated a certain way, right? And then when I told her, look, you can hear from this person's mouth, and now it was like something different, right? And I don't even know what it was, you know. She was like, oh, it's stuff that's been over the past couple weeks. Stuff that you said in your video, and I was like, I guess. And inside I knew that. Inside I knew that was gonna happen. I knew that I was gonna. So, and mind you, for years I've been telling Rachel, if the roles were reversed, I probably wouldn't believe you either, right? But I said, if it puts your mind at ease, and this is something that, I'll take a polygraph test. I don't have nothing to hide. Was I wrong in being there? Absolutely. Did I have any sexual relations or contact with her? Absolutely not. You know, and I've been telling her this for years. I'll take a polygraph. I'll take a polygraph. I'm not even asking you to take one. And there's shit that I've forgiven you about. Stuff that you have told me your version of, and deep down inside, I said, I don't think that's what happened, but regardless, and the goalpost started to change. And I was, and I knew this. I knew this was going to happen. That's why part of me didn't want to do it. Because I was like, man, if I'm able to show her that this didn't happen, then I know she's going to just say, oh, well, it's no, actually it was this or this or this. I was like, and me, I was like, actually, it's just me. It's doesn't have nothing to do with that stuff. And it sucks because the night that whole thing happened, right? And the second that my hands touched her shoulders, the second that my hand touched her shoulders, and it wasn't like in an embracing way or anything like that. The second that my hand touched her shoulders, it felt the most horrible feeling in the world, right? And I know part of me getting over this is me moving on, right? And by that I mean me dealing with somebody else. But because we're still married, I'm going to struggle with that. And I'm going to struggle with that a lot. Because I still feel like I'm being unfaithful. Even though I'm not. Like, you left me. You've moved on. But, like, I can't seem to do that. Part of it is because I know how much that I'm gonna beat myself up over this, right? If I move on, if I go on a date with a woman, if I speak to a woman, that's stuff that I know I'm gonna beat myself up over. I know it. And then I'm like, and once again, I'm not owed anything. Where I just asked, I said, look, just tell me, we had a conversation, and I was like, just tell me, she said, I don't think I could look at you the same or something. I forgot what it was, And I was like, all right, well, I guess, like, it's like, once again, I'm not owing anything, but I just have a hard time understanding this. You've wanted me to forgive you numerous times, right? And I've forgiven you. But you're not willing to provide that same grace, I guess. I don't know. And I know this is something that, I'm just going to end up having to deal with and get over, even though I don't want to. I just have to. Because I look at myself and I'm like, man, I don't look very good, right? I don't feel good. Um, I don't look very good. I'll walk past people in the store that I know and almost like they don't even recognize me, right? I haven't had a haircut in a couple months. I haven't, cut my beard. Um, I've lost a lot of weight, you know, like 25 pounds. It's just like, yeah, I don't know. And I know like sooner or later I have to flip that switch in my mind. But I think too is like, man, I said forever. I said forever. I said forever. I said forever. I married you. Right? You're not my baby mom. You're not my girlfriend. You're my wife. I feel like I'm giving up on my wife. I feel like I'm giving up on my family. I don't want to do that. And I don't want this to change me. Right? I don't want this to change the type of person I am. I don't want to be angry. I don't want to be bitter. I don't want any of that. So I don't know. I don't know. Yesterday was my mom's anniversary. You know, the anniversary of her passing. She knows this is always a hard day for me. And like a little part of me was hoping maybe I'll get a text and just be like, yo, I hope you're all right. Or I said a prayer for you. Or thinking of you. Something, right? Of course not. um, or even be able to see the kids, right? Stuff like that. But of course not. And then I'm like, well, why are you surprised, right? Why are you surprised? You shouldn't be, you know. Um, yeah, you shouldn't be surprised one bit, right? Every time I'm with the kids, I send her, videos of stuff me and the kids are doing. Um, and I have not a single time got anything like that in return. I was hoping maybe I would yesterday, like a little video from Mercy just saying hi, I love you, miss you. Of course not. And then I'm like, well, why would you? You never got anything like that. So why would you get it now? Right? Yeah. So and part of me is like, well, that's your fault. You know what I mean? Like, why would you expect something? Even if I send a text or something, I just get completely ignored. And it's, I'm like, man, this isn't, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's, I think sometimes we need to see that lack of consideration and lack of respect and lack of care from people so we can see what they really think about us, right? Yeah. All right, y'all. Hope everybody has a great day. Have a blessed new year. And thank you guys for listening. Stay blessed, y'all. Remember to be kind, loving, and patient.